Happy New Year! It's 2026. And you know what that means? It means that Louis Tomlinson's latest album is going to be dropping very soon. And also, it looks like we're getting some buzz from Harry and Niall that they're dropping a new album. All right, I hope everyone had a great New Year wherever you are. And I thought I would tell you about something that happened that honestly has me so emotional right now because once again, Louis Tomlinson's resilience has like literally changed my life in a tangible, measurable way. So I got an email about a week ago from the finance committee at the Psychoanalytic Institute that I've been doing my Wednesday night seminars with. And I got approved for a scholarship application, got $500 to attend an upcoming psychoanalytic conference, a big one. And it's all thanks to Louis. You know why? Because I wrote the application while listening to Louis Tomlinson on repeat, especially Palaces and Lemonade. And I had the inspiration when I saw that the application cycle was open. I saw that I was going to apply for it, and I was not going to initially because it was like, oh, I'm asking for too much. But no, I kind of had to do it because it was the resilience of a Louis Tomlinson that was in my mind. So this is going to be a bit different from my usual content. So I'm not going to have any psychoanalytic theory for this one because I'm not going to be breaking down any lyrics. This is just me telling you how a man I have never met who sings about walls and silver tongues and holding on to heartbreak somehow gave me the courage to keep applying for things I didn't think I deserved last year at this time. But to date, Louis Tomlinson's, his resilience, his ability to have that grit to keep going despite the industry not backing him, not only got me approved to be a continuing education provider, but also he got me, well, I should do a whole other video on all the things that I got inspired by his grit to apply to. Okay. Because this is the third time now. This is the third scholarship that I've gotten because I applied inspired by Louis' story. And when I was applying, once again, I was listening to his music on repeat. So it was the third time I sat down to write something important, something that felt too big for me, something where I thought, oh, they're going to reject this. Who am I kidding? And I put on Louis Tomlinson's songs and I wrote it anyway, and I got it again. So the first one was when I wrote an application for a scholarship for the psychoanalytic training, which I got basically a half-ride scholarship. I'm like, what the hell? And then the second one was when I applied to the continuing education provider. Like I said, I told you about this before. I wanted to develop a 6-hour course on culturally responsive trauma treatment using EMDR and brain spotting. Huge undertaking. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm just like, what am I doing? I just did phase 2 brain spotting. What am I thinking? Who do I think I am? And then I put on Walls, the whole album, on repeat. I wrote the proposal and it got accepted. And yes, I'm getting paid for it. Me and my partner who, or my co-presentation partner, Sophia, is also going to join in. And so she's in Los Angeles. I'm in Northern California. So we're going to do this all remotely. And so she was my brain spotting partner when I went and when we did the brain spotting together. So yeah. And then of course there's the brain spotting training. And brain spotting, as I've said, is this incredible trauma therapy modality. And the advanced training and just the training in general, the basic foundations is so expensive. I've already done EMDR, but there was just, I just felt really drawn to brain spotting. I always say EMDR is my first love. Brain spotting is my true love. I wanted to apply for a scholarship, but I kept talking myself out of it. Oh, it's too competitive. You won't get it. Don't waste your time. And then I thought about Louis. Louis, he got told he wasn't good enough, was not the front man, was not Harry, was not Zayn, was just the backup. And that boy kept going. So I put on the bigger than me, and I wrote that application, and I got the scholarship, and I also convinced Sophia to, and so she got it too. And now this, the National Psychoanalytic Conference. This is the big leagues of psychoanalytic thought. And I'm in I'm thinking, what am I thinking? Like it's so competitive, and which is incredible and terrifying. And when I saw that they had scholarship funds at the Psychoanalytic Institute that I'm doing my training at, I'm keep in mind I don't need to do this training. I'm when you're already done school, you don't think you need any more. But here we are, because like Louis, I'm always looking to improve myself. So I almost didn't apply, because that's what I do. I almost don't apply, but then I put on Holding On to Heartbreak and I wrote the application for the scholarship to go to this national conference, and they said yes. So let me explain why Louis Tomlinson specifically is been this archetypal inspiration for this, because I know some of you are thinking it's just music. Anyone could inspire you, and you're not wrong. But it's not just that he makes music, it's a story underneath the music. Louis Tomlinson is the underdog who refused to stay down. He was in the biggest boy band, One Direction, biggest global phenomenon in the world. The second Beatles, second coming. And he was never the favourite, not to the label, not to the marketing team, and not even to the fans at first. Harry was the front man, although it was meant to be Liam. Zayn had the voice. Oh, isn't Zayn so handsome? Liam was the responsible one. Niall was a charming Irishman with the guitar. And Louis was just there in the back, singing harmonies, getting the least solos, and he knew it. You can see it in the old interviews, the way he'd deflect, make jokes, play small, like he already accepted that this was his role. But then One Direction ended, and everyone had the theories about who'd make it solo. Harry, obviously. Zayn already had. Niall, probably. Liam, maybe. Louis, people literally said he wouldn't make it, that he didn't have the voice, didn't have the stage presence, didn't have what it takes. Well, you know what? Bugger off and fuck you. I love Louis for saying it. He didn't say it, but in his actions, it was like, I'll show you, goddammit. And damn it, he did. And you know what Louis did? He kept going. His first single underperformed because of a blackballing, not because of lack of commercial and artistic value. His label didn't support him. How many times do we get mad at LTHQ for not doing enough for him? That's why the fans rally and they petition to have him in festivals. Louis had to fight for everything, and instead of giving up, instead of fading into the background like people expected, he worked harder, and more importantly, he worked smarter. He wrote his own music. He had the most writing credits in One Direction. He found his sound. He built his fan base. He built his own infrastructure, built his own festival. Brick by bloody brick, show by show. And then he live streamed a concert, and it was one of the most watched concerts. He is the diamond in plain sight. And you know what? He is the biggest breakout star for One Direction. If you really look at the metrics, if you really look at it, he is the one who really did it. Because Harry had the 20 million marketing budget. But even with the 20 million marketing budget, Harry, at times, you would expect more from Harry. But you know what? The real talent, and I love you, Harry, but the real talent is your husband. And when Louis' album Walls finally came out, it was entirely him. His words, his stories, his resilience on full display. And that's why Louis, because he's proof you don't have to be the chosen one to make it. You just have to refuse to quit. You gotta choose yourself first. So let me tell you about writing this recent application for a scholarship to go to this national big deal conference, because honestly, it's funny how much Louis was sort of psychically involved. The application asked for a statement about why I wanted to attend, what I hoped to gain, how it would benefit my professional development, all the standard stuff. But I was staring at a blank page for like an hour because I kept thinking, what if they think I'm not serious enough? What if my background isn't strong enough? What if they look at my application and think, who's this random person from California who goes on and on about brain spotting and EMDR, which is postmodern, not psychoanalytic at all? And then I put on the song, We Made It. You know that song? It's got this line, just hold on, it won't be long before we see the other side. And I thought about Louis, writing that song after years of being told he would not make it. I fucking hate Simon Cowell. I really wish Homeland Security would watch him and stuff, because I hope to fucking God he does not treat those boys in December 10 the way he treated One Direction. And I hope to God he does not target an underdog that would be another Louis, because I don't know if most people are as strong as Louis is. So if Homeland, if you're watching, can you please watch Simon Cowell if he ever brings those boys over to America? to work because you know what? They're foreign nationals and at least 4 of them are under 18. They're all 16. So do me a solid, Billy, okay? Anyway, so after the industry counted Louis out, after his personal tragedies, after losing his mom and his sister Felicity, after everything, and he still wrote We Made It. Not I made it, we, because he knew his fans were fighting alongside him. He knew resilience is not a solo act. It's a collective refusing to give up on each other. So, listening to this track, I started writing. I wrote about trauma, I wrote about psychoanalytic theory and how it helps us understand complex PTSD and attachment wounds, about how I wanted to bring psychoanalytic concepts into EMDR and brain spotting practice, and how this national conference would help me learn from the best minds in the field. But underneath all of it, underneath all of that, I was writing about resilience, about not giving up even when the road is hard, about believing that you belong in the spaces that felt too big for you. I was kind of inspired by Louis' story, and I was putting it in psychoanalytic language. And when I finished, I read it back and thought, okay, this is actually good, which is not something I usually think about my own writing. But Louis' voice was in my head saying, you know what, you worked for this, you earned it, send it. So I did. And last night, well, actually a few nights ago, I got the email, $500 approved. And here's the thing about resilience that I think Louis embodies better than almost anybody, at least in my celebrity space. It's not about never falling or failing. It's about getting back up every single time. Louis has had more reasons to quit than most people. The industry tried to make him a backing vocalist in his own band. His first solo single was called A Disappointment by critics. His label didn't promote him properly. He lost his mother. He lost his little sister. He's been through public heartbreak, public scrutiny, relentless comparisons to his former bandmates, and every single time he could have said, you know what, this isn't worth it, I'm done. But he didn't. He wrote Two of Us about his mum and turned grief into something beautiful. He wrote Walls about barriers and breaking through them. He wrote Bigger Than Me about finding purpose beyond pain. He kept writing, kept performing, he kept showing up. And that's why resilience actually is. That's what resilience actually is. It's not about being unbreakable. It's breaking and then choosing to rebuild anyway. And when I'm sitting at my desk, staring at a scholarship application, thinking I'm not qualified enough yet, I don't think I'm smart enough, I didn't deserve this, I think about Louis. Louis, he was told he wasn't enough for years, and he just kept going. And so I keep going too. You know, you'd think that after leaving home at 16 and running to the other end of the country, that I would have a bit more gumption, a bit more grit. But you know what? Some things persist. It's crazy. Because if Louis Tomlinson can go from being the overlooked member of One Direction to selling out arenas solo, building a loyal fan base, and creating music entirely on his own terms, then little old me can submit a damn scholarship application. And you know what? So what? They say no. If you say no, that's the worst thing. You don't have it anyway, right? So you just get more of what you already have. But on the flip side, you can get everything or a bit far more than you thought you would ever get. So the resilience is not in never doubting yourself. The resilience is in doing it even when you doubt yourself. Louis kind of teaches us that through his music, through his story, through his refusal to disappear because people expected him to. And now that lesson has earned me a $500 reimbursement to attend a very prestigious psychoanalytic conference in America. Okay, so I'm not going to show the actual email because I'm not going to. I don't want my watchers who I've talked about to know my actual email address because, God forbid, they watch me there too. But I will take some photos. And honestly, it doesn't matter if I prove it or not, because I know it's true, and that's all that matters. But it was from the finance committee saying, and it was an email that had the subject line, Finance Committee Award notification, and here's the first part. So, hello, congratulations. On behalf of the Finance Committee, I'm happy to relay that you have been approved for an award of $500 to attend the 2026 National Psychoanalytic Conference, and I get to go. So, anyway, because I almost This email goes on to explain the receipts I need, the proof of attendance requirements, all the administrative stuff. But that first line, you've been approved, that's the line that almost made me cry because I almost didn't apply. I almost talked myself out of it. I almost decided that I just wasn't ready yet. But Louis' voice was in my head because I'm looking so forward to his next album. And that line from Bigger Than Me, this thing I'm doing, it's bigger than me. And I thought, this isn't about me proving I'm quote unquote special or qualified. This is about me showing up for the work. And it's bigger than my self-doubt. So I applied and they said yes. Now I have the email to prove it. So here's why I'm telling you all this, because I know a lot of you watching this are Louis fans. You love his music, you love his story, you admire his resilience. But I want you to understand that his resilience is not just inspiring in an abstract way. It's not just, oh, that's nice, good for him. It's applicable. It's actionable. It's something you can actually use in your real life to do real things. So when I listen to Louis Tomlinson, I'm not just enjoying his good music. I'm absorbing a masterclass on how to keep going when everything feels impossible. So I'm using that lesson to apply for scholarships I think are out of reach, develop courses I think I'm not qualified to teach, pursue training programs I think are too advanced for me, and build a career that I thought was impossible. Because every time I've thought I can't do this, Louis has proven that yes, I can. Because he did against worse odds, with more people doubting him, with more obstacles in his way. If he can do it, I can do it. And if I can do it, so can you. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about something you've been wanting to apply for or go after, but keep talking yourself out of it. Whether it's a scholarship, a job, a program, an opportunity, something where you keep thinking, I'm not good enough for that. And I want you to put on any Louis Tomlinson song. Pick anything. Pick your favorite. Walls, Defenseless, We Made It, Bigger Than Me, whatever speaks to you. And I want you to write that application, submit that form, send that email, do what you need to do while Louis is singing about resilience in your ears. Because his resilience is not just his story. It's a template. It's a roadmap. It's proof that the underdog can win if they just refuse to quit. You don't have to be the chosen one. You don't have to be the obvious pick. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going. Louis proved that, and I'm proving it to you with this $500 scholarship. Your turn. Share your success in the comments. So, thank you, Louis Tomlinson. You may never see this video. You have no idea who I am. You didn't personally give me the scholarship, but your music did, and your story did. Your refusal to give up when everyone expected you to, that gave me permission to not give up either. And so now I'm off to this national conference and hearing from the best minds in psychoanalysis. And it's happening because I put on Holding On to Heartbreak and wrote that application even though I was scared. So to everyone watching, put on a Louis song and go for it, because the underdog can win. Louis proved it, and now we can prove it to ourselves. I'll see you in the next one. Keep going, loves. Do it and prove that all us Louis have all the same grit as our favorite boy in the boy band.